But when Teresa ass was talking about, I text him and I didn't get a response back for an hour. Like, she literally said that, an hour.
Yes.
I vocally was like, an hour. Like, this is the immaturity I cannot with this woman.
Welcome back in, everyone. This is Black Girls Talking TV, where we bring the group chat to life and discuss all your favorite TV shows. Today, it's all about Age of Attraction. On Netflix, we are discussing the Age of Attraction finale, as well as this reunion. And my bad, y'all. Life been lifing over here. I was sick, and then stuff just started popping off, so we are late for a few recaps, but we're here. We're back. My name is Victoria. I am a psychologist, and I am one of your hosts.
Kamaria, I'm an attorney and a pop culture writer. And before we get into this Age of Attraction finale, reunion, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell, and be in the comments. Let us know your thoughts because, again, all of it is a mess. You know, I didn't even want to watch it. I got upset watching it. So,
and
overall
3 hours.
Thoughts. Yeah, 3 hours. This thing was too much.
Yeah.
What were your overall thoughts?
Yeah, starting with the 3 hour thing, I was just like, now if this was like, I would appreciate a Love is Blind 3 hour reunion, because sometimes they don't give us everything. And you can even tell, even with the reunion, that things are chopped and screwed. So in that vein, it's like, I appreciated it, but it was just like, I'm not invested that much in these couples to want to know everything that they were talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like Nick asking everybody the same question. Well, what does the younger person do for you? Like, let's not. But yeah, overall, again, this show is, we discussed
propaganda.
This in the last recap. Yes, like I cannot. It's so cringy. And like everybody's like, oh, it had nothing to do with age. It's like, it has everything to do with age.
And let me also point out this. I saw bits of banter with Antoinette speak about how there was a lack of immaturity across all the women and the men. And I was like, I don't think we harped on that enough last time, because I saw, especially, we're going to start off with Teresa and John. I saw Teresa's immaturity in this. And so I think one of the things that people, they're using a very narrow definition of age affecting the relationship and not looking at the whole picture. It's not that, oh, the actual age of 61 and the actual age of 27 matter. It's that the fact that this man is willing at 61 to date this younger woman speaks to his level of immaturity. The fact that they are often like still out here trying to find someone and looking in that direction speaks to immaturity. It's that they are immature older people, and then the younger folks are just too naive to recognize, you know, what's happening here. And so for me, I could see Teresa's immaturity much more. I could see, we talked a little bit about Vanessa's immaturity, but I think personally, that's the factor that I don't think that is being talked about enough in terms of like how these things work. And even we'll get into it a little bit later when we talk about Fifer and things like that. It's like, I didn't like Nick Vile's questioning around a lot of what skills the younger person may be lacking. It's like, yeah, Fifer might not have, or whoever might not have certain skills because they're young. They're in the part of their life where they're developing those skills. So let's not talk about
like
this.
I said, he even with the whole just asking what has a younger person provided for you, to me it was giving like, I'm trying to tell you that there is something valuable in this super age distant relationship. And it's like, no, Nick, like it's still cringy. No matter how you flip it and dip it, it's cringy as hell. You're trying to convince us all that this is appropriate when it's not. And something else, like because in the episodes, it was a lot of the times Teresa saying that it's typically okay for older men to date younger women, but society does not view it the same for older women dating younger men. And Vanessa even said it at the reunion. And I'm like, I don't know why y'all have this perception that everybody in society is just gung-ho and okay with this. Like, this is literally why we have these issues with the Epstein files, and even this thing coming out with Brandy and the guy from it just slipped my mind. Yes, talking about she was young enough to get it. Like, it's inappropriate. Like, it's inappropriate. appropriate. It does not just come down to, was this person underage? It is a significant age gap when you're talking about 20, 30 years, when someone, especially when someone is in their 20s, like, brain ain't even developed yet, and you
in the women's side, yes,
you know where you were at that age. You know what I'm saying? And clearly, you still want to be there in some shape or form. But it's But anyways, let's get into it. Who we want to start with? We want to start with
Teresa and John.
Y'all.
Yes. Because I was so frustrated by her, because I was like, this right here, this the shit right here. Like, she kept, I feel like, putting everything on John. Everything she did was okay. And I'm like, John was sitting there. I was like, go ahead, John. Don't take the bait. I'm good. Like, just be good, because this woman obviously has a lot of emotional stuff she has not resolved. And I think that he could have been a more mature, he seems like a more mature 20 something year old. Now, whatever happened, if he's checking out in a moment or whatever, he's 27. I don't know what you expected, girl. But it didn't seem like it was at a level. It seems like she's the type of person that ratchets up something that maybe what is it, a molehill? She make that thing a mountain, like all times. And I think that can be exhausting. So
and well, let's just go back to the decision day, because we also discussed in the finale. I did not realize, because, she pulled out that letter and she said, my kids are now accepting this. And so I feel like that informed her decision, because it was, first of all, the way they chopped and screwed them conversations really pissed me off. Because I'm like, I don't get it. Like, the robot, I'm like, did they have a teleprompter up reading whatever it is that they maybe wrote before they got to the decision? Because even Nick and his intern wife lady, they was literally talking so slow the entire time. Like, I could not understand why they were discussing things the way that they were. But when she put out the letter, I was like, okay, maybe she's about to lean into this, I guess. But when we get to the reunion and he said, you said you feel disgusting next to me, I'm like, that's every reason to not want to be with you, babes. I don't care how old you are. You know what I'm saying? At that point, like, that part right there specifically, I'm like, girl, if anybody tell you they feel disgusting next to you, you're not going to feel confident wanting to be in a relationship with you. And so if he shut down after this, especially through the season, we saw him ask you several times, are you saying that if your kids are not for this, you're not going to be in this? Like, am I wasting my time? Do we need to just end this now? Like, there's no reason to continue. And then to come to find out, you blaming his sister and another castmate as to why you feel disgusting. It's like, girl. Yeah. Immaturity was at an all-time low.
Right. And awesome hot. Yeah. But it also is just the sense. It's also the sense of, like, I don't know. The sister didn't seem like a mean girl type. She just seemed regular. So I will say that, to me, it feels like if I were going to just make a uneducated assumption off of what I know about the situation, it seemed like Teresa might have been a little being sensitive in that regard. And then also, it's like immature. It's like, as a woman, like, if you're feeling uncomfortable, call that shit out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't have to do it in a like, girl, I see you over there throwing slight comments. You could just say, hey, you guys, we're kind of talking about age a little bit, and this is making me feel a little uncomfortable. Or we're talking about whatever.
They were talking about age. They were talking about
topics.
Well, she
said about topics. Yeah. And that's, it's just like, look. It just gives her, she was the issue. Even her talking about, like, oh yeah, I said some things in there, but I apologize for it. It's like everything that she does that she feels like,
and not even some nasty things.
Yeah.
That he didn't even want to repeat.
Yeah. It's like she's excusing that away like it's nothing, or like it's okay. But he didn't support me. Like, that was her biggest thing she kept harping on. He didn't support her. And even Nick and them trying to get on him about he didn't support her. And it's like, all I done seen from John is supportive. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're going to have to support yourself. He is not the substitute support for you. You know what I'm saying? Right. You are going to have to, like, you can't just continue. You can't empty his well of support and then be like, look at you. You didn't support me. It's like, you have to have, that is part of our own role as women, is to self-care, self-soothe, emotionally regulate. And then a partner only adds to that. They are not your your emergency plan for this. Like, right. I mean, not emergency plan, but they're not your plan A. You get what I'm saying? They're just support. You are your own support. You are your own emotional regulation. You are your own, all of these things. And so I feel like it just speaks to, like I said, the level of immaturity. And the fact also that she didn't bring up the age, telling something she still hadn't told her kid. The kids found out on the airing. I was on like, the show? Teresa, girl, you could talk it 50-11 ways if you want to. She had an excuse for everything. But bottom line is, yes, you are embarrassed. Yeah, yes, you were having some issues. And that is the problem. And I am on John's side of
beyond embarrassed, 100%. It was shame, honey. Beyond embarrassment, it was shame.
Because and I'm gonna just say this, rightfully so, because this shame that's creeping up on your throat, that's what these men we're saying they need to be feeling, and you're feeling it, but you're trying to dismiss it. You're feeling it, but you're trying to go over it. But it's like, girl, you just gotta follow that feeling. Like, this is not what a woman of my age should be operating in. Like, you know what I'm saying? And let me just move forward, move on. Because if you're gonna do it, do it. If you're not gonna do it, you all of this emotional trauma that she adding to everybody's life, it's unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Unnecessary. But anyway, anything else on them before we get into Vanessa and Jorge?
Yes. John saying that he found out through this process, or maybe before, that he was anxiously attached, and it comes from this whole baseball being ripped away from him. I felt like that was like a cop-out almost to like take a little bit, just to still sue Teresa and her BS, if that makes sense. Because I felt like nothing about what he was displaying was an anxious attachment. In my opinion, he was asking questions. Like I said, is this going to actually work out if you're having these feelings? And then come to find out, you still have these feelings. And one thing he kept saying was, like, even at decision day, was, I need you to be confident in this decision. That's what I need from you. You know? And now you telling me I got to support you in every single low you have about this decision that you at your grown ass age made. It's not okay. But yeah, that was it. Let's go ahead and move on to, who did we say we was going to next? Oh, Vanessa and Jorge.
Because they was pissing me off, girl. They was pissing me off. Him and her.
Every way possible.
her because she called him back. I was like, girl, you have to walk away and stay away. Girl, you had it. You had the number.
You did say you was worried. You did say you was worried she was going to split in the block. I said, come on, you called it in my notes.
Because she was too like, oh, he was my person. And then what I could just look, I could see the appeal. Jorge, he looked good for an old man. I'm not even gonna play that man. He looked all right. He looked decent for an old man.
But he an old man.
Yes, it's that.
So old, he didn't even want to say his real age. Okay, he was trying to hold on to the 50s, real tight.
He was. And so I'm just like, I cannot with him. And then not the whole cast being like, Jorge's the one we go to for advice. I'm like, the blind leading the blind. I ain't got time for this. Like, I do not. And look, I do not think I do not think he is a wise older guy. I just don't.
Absolutely
I just
not.
don't.
Absolutely
and so
not.
I don't.
He's dating a 27-year-old.
Yes,
happily.
And I think he says a lot of things that sound like they're accurate. Like, especially, and we can get into the skateboard person following them situation. Like, he'll say, "I'm always going to protect my woman." Like, yeah, no one disagrees with these things. I am still on Vanessa's side of this. I like the way she was talking about it. I definitely agree that I definitely feel like that she's telling them more of the truth in this situation. And I feel like he is just very trying to salvage his ego. Like, that whole situation was birthed out of his ego. The way he's retelling it is his ego is coloring it. It's just, yeah. But anyhow.
Yeah. I was just a little appalled, though, that he said that she called him and was like, after I talked to my mom and my sister, I understand you were trying to protect me. I'm like, Vanessa. That was the first time I was like, Vanessa, come on, girl. We don't need whatever your gut told you in that moment. Follow it, babes. Follow it. So yeah, that was the first time during the reunion I was kind of like, what's happening here? And then her, when they kept asking, is there potential for you guys to rekindle? And they both sitting there like, never say never.
Yeah, girl, I'm like, I left this reunion still scared for her. The same way I was scared before. I'm scared again that she's gonna go through with it. I mean, and I get it when you're like, she used the words, I was so obsessed with him. Like, when you think somebody's attractive, I understand that it can get like it can go 0 to 100 very quickly, but I feel like she clocks some very important things, and I just need her to stay in that space, because there is definitely a beautiful young man that she'll be able to like, capture.
Yeah, she need to allow them to come into her space though. I mean, it just really seemed like Vanessa wants to be with the older man for whatever reason, and I do kind of think that is just part of this thing that's happening nowadays in society, and these women who are pushing the idea that like if you doll yourself up and you're cute and you're petite and you lose the weight and all the things, like you can attract an older man who's going to take care of you, buy you bags and do all the things. And so I hope that is not like what is causing her to want to dibble and dabble in an older man. But yeah, back to the obsession thing, we're also talking about Imperfect Women. Don't know when that's going to come out, but it's coming out, y'all. We are talking about Imperfect Women. But in that very first episode, one thing that like I really loved was one of the friends, she was like, you remember when you told me infatuation only depletes you? Love will help you grow, right? And it's like, Vanessa, this infatuation that you're having with Jorge is going to deplete you because this man is going to constantly mansplain. He mansplained the entire reunion. Yes. Whatever Jorge said, I would have thought he was the son of Jesus, okay? The way everybody was like, yeah, Jorge, Jorge, insert opinion here. Jorge, insert opinion here. Like I was like, why does he have dominion over everybody's relationship and how much people have grown and who he proud of? I'm so confused. This man is 60 years old going after a 27-year-old. He don't have no life advice.
Yeah.
He's stunted.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself, girl. But yeah, anything else on them before we get into another older man, younger woman couple?
Yeah, let's get it. You want to go to Fifer and Derek?
Yeah. No, I was like, not too much on my girl, Fifer. I mean, not that I was like so connected with her character. I mean, not character, but her story. But I just felt like she didn't deserve them to insinuate that it was her immaturity. It's like, fuck. Yeah, she's supposed to be immature. She's 23. She's supposed to be living with her friends in a house having parties. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand. They set it all up like she wasn't ready. She wasn't. It's like, bitch, you should have known that. Your old ass, your mature ass should have known that if you were mature. You should have recognized that there were these things. And I keep going back to what you said last time about like, why did Derek even want her to make that decision? Why didn't he just bow out? It's like that speaks to his level of selfishness, his level of immaturity. It's like, why would you want this girl to uproot her life like this? And so I'm glad she got home, and whoever is in her circle was like, girl, no.
Keep them all. Keep every last one of them. Okay? No, straight up.
Yeah, so I'm glad that hit her, and she decided to do what she needed to do. I don't know why she didn't show up. Maybe because she like, I'm done with this little culty ass
I know why
experience.
she didn't show up. I saw it.
Why?
I saw it.
Okay.
She had said that, well, one, she's in another relationship, and she was like, I went, period. She said my relationship is always first. She was going to Japan for her birthday, so she already wasn't going to make it. But she also was like, I didn't show up to go on. I mean, I didn't sign up to go on any other platforms. I signed up for a Netflix show, and so I said, and clock it, babes. I said, and y'all want to call Fifer immature? She the one the only person who made a mature decision, and standing on it. Babes, standing on it. So yeah, no, I am with you because I don't know why Nick was trying to like and where do you say she lived and like making it a joke that at 23-year-old, even if she was in a sorority house, who cares? She's 23. Like, what is that? 2 years removed from undergrad? Like, you're still in an undergrad mindset for the most part. Like a couple years after you graduate, you've had so much fun, whatever. So. Yeah, I didn't like that at all, as if she was supposed to be in a different stage of life. Like, it's like, no, she's still 23. You can't take that away from her just because you're 40-something wanting to get at her. That don't change. Like, it does not change where she is supposed to be. Where you are supposed to be is likely telling you that you should not be wanting to hang around a 23-year-old, lay up with a 23-year-old, but instead you want to blame her for for why y'all not together. It's not cute. And Nick, again, vile. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't have anything else on them aside
You
from
want to go
that.
to Leah and Chris?
Oh yes, this whole thing. I'm
Yeah.
like, not another Kenny. What's happening? I mean, like, what's happening? And he gonna be a perfect match. I was like, oh god.
Right after they talked about him wanting to be on reality TV, I'm like, that wasn't a good look. That was not a good look, babes. That wasn't a good look.
I think there's a hint of the truth in there. Not even a hint. I think the whole truth probably is up in that reality TV thing. Because the way, even him talking about Survivor, I was like, oh, he wanted to be on Survivor. Is that what? Because we cover Survivor too, y'all.
Yes.
I was like, bruh, this man, yeah.
No, I don't know how. Like, I don't think I was surprised that Leah was saying like things are completely different to her, because I'm like, what we saw is still a form of reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, there were still all of these moments that he was pushing away from you, and so I was a little confused why she wasn't.
I think it's that he didn't speak it. Like, because I felt like he didn't speak it enough. Like, so I could see how, especially the way they were all touchy-feely, kissy in the beginning, I could see how that could still linger, you know?
Right.
And make her think like, oh, it's just today. We're just not touchy-kissy, whatever today type of thing, especially in such a short process. But anywho. That was my thought.
But also too, she said that he kept saying like the cameras and stuff are overwhelming, but it's like, you're about to go back on another show. Like, they weren't that overwhelming, sir.
Right.
They were not that overwhelming. But I was with everybody like kind of going in on him. Like, you need to be authentic and say what you mean and mean what you say, and follow it up with action, because you wasted this girl's time. Absolutely. I did feel bad that she couldn't be there for her best friend. I think that was the most gut-wrenching part of it. And it's like, yeah, you can't make these big decisions for no man, honey.
And also, the one thing I will say about Leah is like, when she was all like, oh, I decided to be a yes, I knew he was going to be a no. When Nick asked her, like, girl, he was going to be a no, I need you to be a no too. Because I don't choose what doesn't choose me, okay? Like, that's what we need to be clear on. At a minimum, he's got to choose you back. You know what I'm saying? And so
you need to choose you first.
Well, I'm saying back, but you know, yeah. Back. Like, you choosing him, he choosing you. But yeah. Let him lead. Let him proceed in that. Like, you don't, I'm not amused until there is some expression of, oh yeah, I want to be here. And genuine. So it is what it is. But yeah, I don't have anything else on them.
Let's go ahead and get into Libby and Andrew. They are surprisingly still together. I was also surprised that they was talking like they was doing so well, and then she said they just be on vacations. So
it's not a real
y'all still in a bubble.
Yes. It's like they're not this. Oh my God. Like, long distance is not real time. You know, I've been in a long distance relationship. It's not real time. It's not real until y'all get into that same city. You got to deal with each other every day. You get on each other's nerves every day. You know what I'm saying? These talking on the phone, that child, somebody done catfished me before talking to me on the phone. You have this image in your head of who you're dealing with. And then when you get into the reality of the situation, it's like, yeah, it's a no.
Yeah.
But even if they did last, like, on the strength of like being in an actual relationship, I have always felt like, and I said it before, these women, they're so young that they're literally molding to fit the guy. So of course it's gonna fit, because they're molding themselves. They haven't really even fully filled out their own shape yet. You know what I mean? As a human being. And so they're growing under, you know, in the form of like, this guy is here, and it creates this container for them and how big they can be and how much of themselves they can express. And so even if it does work, it's because it's to her detriment. You know what I'm saying? It's because she's not been allowed to blossom as her own self, and she's it's just like being under the shadow of someone. I don't know how to explain it any other way than that. And that's why these older men like these younger women, because they can continue to be who they want to be and not grow and not stretch for another person, because someone else is doing the adjusting for them, you know?
And to that point, Nick, he was asking everybody, I said this before, like, how has this person like helped shape you and mold you? And it's like, he had nothing to say. Like, he was like, oh, my business ended or whatever, and she was like by my side, and it's like, she can't offer you anything in that way because she's young, like, and you are a grown man with teenage daughters. So what could she give you? Like, and it doesn't seem like Libby has gone through any traumatic experiences or had to grow up early or anything to that extent to have any wisdom to offer you. Like,
I think the only thing that is the benefit, like when he keeps asking for the benefit is that, oh, boom, I get to frolic and, be with this young thing that's like makes me feel young. You know what I'm saying? I get to have fun and be immature and not have to answer to anyone expecting more of me. You know what I'm saying? Because what they've been in this relationship for a year, first of all, where we going? Young woman ain't got she not worried about where we going. She just living life. She don't recognize there is somewhere to go. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
She just living life. If that had been a woman, let's say even just give me a woman that's 30. You know what I'm saying? Because 30, like, it's still young. You're still very, very young.
No, that's to that point, not to like cut you off, but to cut you off because like I am 32 and I just got to that point. Like, I had been in a relationship for so long, and like marriage in the future was never one. I was getting my education, but like it was never the thing that I always said, like, yeah, I want a serious relationship that'll lead to marriage. But it's like those qualities and those characteristics now are so different than when I was 21, 22, 20, even 27. Like, it's so different now because of just time of growing and maturing and understanding like what it takes and like who I am. So she ain't looking for it. Like,
yeah. And I just feel like a year, especially, I think this has been a year. I'm not 1,000% sure, but I think it's been a year.
Yeah, it's been a year. It's like almost a year.
Yeah, it's like nobody gonna be sitting around here except a young woman because this is a situationship. I mean, maybe a relationship. Maybe they're not fucking other people. Maybe they're not, whatever. But it's like, we not just gonna be like we're in high school on the phone for a year. It's like
meeting up in Miami for a week.
Yeah, for vacation. It's like, yeah, no. Like, where are we? What are we doing? Where are we going? And I think that because she is young, a lot of times people think like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't have any. I'm not stressed about it right now, so it's fine that it moves at this pace. But one of the things that, especially with an older man like that who has not committed, what you don't realize is that it's often a sign that they lack an ability to commit. The fact that they've made it so long throughout their life and haven't committed. I'm not saying 100% every situation of every man who's older and hasn't committed or never been married that's the situation, but it's often that's the situation, right? And in my view. And so I feel like the longer it goes on, the more you don't realize as a young woman that, oh, this might end. Like, this relationship might actually literally just be like 5 years of my life, and it was this slow pace, and then he hops onto another 22-year-old. So maybe he goes to 25 when he's 5 years from now. But you don't realize the time waste. And I think that that's the thing that older women recognize, like, you're sucking up my time. And you think that because love there is there in the beginning, it'll end in a happily ever after. And it's like, it doesn't. The longer they go on, the more they see of not your sugar and candy and rainbow parts. They see the real, the real of you. And if a person is not mature enough to be there through that, it's just gonna be grating. Everybody get on everybody's nerves the longer you with them. You know what I'm saying? Our moms, our sisters, our brothers, they get on our nerves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You've been with them
and
forever.
They've been together for a year now. You have not met his children. I wonder why. Like, he talking about something. We still got all of these, or she said we got all of these stages that we have to go through in this relationship. Y'all have been together for a year. Where are the stages? And then she don't want to move to Baltimore, where his kids are at. It's like there's so many things at play here, where it's like she at 20 whatever does not have to make that decision, but you, Andrew, are trying to like play with it. like it's a possibility. Oh, we're gonna meet in the middle somewhere. Like, come on now.
Yeah. Immaturity right there, because it's like, sir, you're a father. You can't find a 25-year-old,
and your kids are
city.
Teenagers. They need their daddy. Like, let's stop playing.
They need stability in terms of like graduating. You know what I'm saying? You want to take them out of high school at junior year, senior year. You know what I'm saying? What are we talking about? Like, that's why I'm talking about in the last episode, these part-time fathers. But the one thing also I wanted to say, I don't think I mentioned this before, but Libby, it felt like she was kind of explaining all the difficult things in the relationship. She was saying like, oh yeah, they were like, where are you guys going? She was like, she answered all the questions. We have so many stages to go through, and so when it's almost like being an apologist for the relationship, she's saying that she's okay with all these things and explaining logically, we have all of these stages to go through still, and I'm okay with that. And it's like, because if he had said those things, if he was like, I don't really, we still got so much to do, it would feel like, bruh, why are you taking your time? You know, it would have not sounded as okay coming from him as it does coming from her. And so I noticed that she kept explaining all of the difficult parts of the relationship and kind of being the PR spokesperson for like how she's okay with that and how they're in this good vibe. But it's like, girl, that's your youth being,
right, okay with it, right? Yes.
But either way, it is what it is.
Before we move on to the next couple, I have two more things I wanted to say. One, I did appreciate that she was backing up her friend, because I'm like, you had a good friend to sit there and clock you, even if she mentioned Botox or whatever. Like, clock the situation. That's a good friend. She's the only one who had sense in the room. The thing I wanted to say was, she kept saying like him having kids made her take him more seriously. And I'm like, someone having kids isn't a reason to take them seriously. Everybody got kids nowadays. Okay. People popping out kids like okay, so that's not a reason to take someone serious. It's how they go about being a father that you take seriously, that shows you qualities. Saying I'm a mother does not mean I'm a good mother, does not mean I show up for my kids. It don't mean none of that. It doesn't automatically like check this box on the list. But it's like, because like I was saying earlier, being in a relationship for so long, being focused on this other part of my life, I didn't know what those qualities were that I was going to need in a husband. Like, they just weren't in the forefront of my mind and how I was choosing to date, or at least I thought I knew then, but they have evolved and changed as I matured. And so she's just saying, oh, it just made me like him more, made me respect him more, take him more serious. It's like, girl, that's not the qualifier. Like, that's not the qualifier.
Yeah, and I spoke about it last time about how like they're not full-time dads. Like, there's a very big difference between the full-time and part-time dad. And look, like,
I'm like, the fact that he's talking about moving halfway, that's a characteristic to think about. The fact that he's dating you and you're closer to his kids' age, who are teenagers than his age, that's a characteristic you need to be worried about.
Yeah, but it is what it is. Like, sometimes you can't save people. She seemed like one of them you can't save. She's gonna defend it, and because she's got a chip on her shoulder, I feel like, about feeling mature and older and things like that. And she can talk a good game, but it's still, the homegirl is giving young. But anywho, anything else on them before we move into our other couple who made it, Vanessa and Logan? And girl, knocked me over with a feather. Did not expect them to make it. Did not. I think we look. I don't think anybody expected him, and not to be engaged too at this point.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was an engagement. First of all, I was with the people in the reunion. Like, are you engaged? Because what is let's do life together? But she probably was like, I know what it is because I've been through this 4 times.
Yeah.
But yeah, child, I was not expecting it. He was another one. I think he asked some things, or I don't know what he was answering, but he was like, these things that she's gone through, these things that she's accomplished. She's a business owner. She makes good money. It's like, that's what made you respect her. That's what did it for you, Logan. Like, I'm not understanding. I'm not getting it. I'm still very confused by them, but they both, seeing Logan at this reunion and the way he was talking, it was something, I don't know if it was like just, it felt very disingenuous between the both of them, or I'm not sure what it was. It was something tingling in my spirit.
Oh,
where I was just like,
yeah.
it was confusing me a little bit with how he was presenting himself and talking about the relationship. And he really, again, threw me off when he brought up her being a business owner and making good money. Cause I'm like, that's not a characteristic. Like, that's not, I don't know. It's.
Yeah, something about them is interesting to me as well, but it's more because, like, as I spoke about in the beginning with Teresa, there's and about bits of banter with Antoinette, like pointing out how like there's a immaturity across these older folks. And it's like, yeah, that's the thing that I see with Vanessa that gives me a little pause on them. Like, I'm not saying they won't get married, but there's something about Vanessa's immaturity that feels like it's not gonna be a healthy relationship. Because there's something in her that's giving me a little, I don't know. And Logan, again, the same thing we say about Libby and all them, even though Logan's a bit older, but there's something about him seeming to be growing into who he is and trying to like solidify that. It's like he may form to this like how she's set life up, you know what I'm saying? He may grow in that, but the reason why I think it's more dangerous on the men to the women's side versus the older woman to the younger man is that men, I think, naturally are a little more stubborn. And so I think that even as we saw their relationship unfold, there are certain things he's bucking back at because they got this ego about them, I feel like men do. And so he's trying to maintain his shape because they're taught as boys, you know, you don't let somebody encroach on your space of who you are. They're taught to maintain that. And so that's him bucking back up against it. I think he could form and grow in her space, underneath the shadow of who she is and what she's brought. But I also think because he's a man, there's a part of him that's going to naturally buck back at that, whereas Libby and Fifer and them, I think that we are taught as women that like, you need to, you know, be flexible and you need to envelop, you know, you get what I'm saying? Like, you need to like be flexible and pliable and moldable, and that's nurturing and that's supportive and that's all this other stuff. And so we're more willing to form in the shadow of like how they set the tone for the relationship, and I don't think it's always true on the other side. And so I say all that to say that I think that Vanessa is setting sort of a pace and there's some like unhealthiness, but this kid's question with him is a thing that comes to my mind when I think about like, is he forming himself in like the tone of what she's setting for the relationship? Because it's like, do you want kids? I don't think that was clearly answered for me on the reunion. I don't know if it was for you, but
no, it wasn't clearly answered.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just a no. It's always a no just because of the setup, but it's like I said, it's just something about it felt a little disingenuous. Like even the proposal, it's like even not giving it clear, like, will you marry me? You know what I'm saying? Words and things like that matter, and so I think it can speak to intentions. And I don't think Logan ever had an issue with communicating in terms of being clear on like what he was feeling and what he was thinking. And so for him to not say like, will you marry me? Will you do life with me? And then again, you're bringing up homeowner and business owner and making good money. It's like, was this a reason? Like, I don't know. Was this just...
Is this more like a checkboxy thing? Maybe like, you know, people be like, they've got this, they've got this, they've got that, but it's not really like a spirit-led, a connection-led, you know?
Yes. Not only that, but it's like, was this just a reason for you or a way for you to kind of like come up a little bit in life, you know? Yeah. I mean, he's young, so he might have seen it as an investment opportunity. I don't know.
No, yeah, I can see that. Do you have anything else on this couple? Okay. One thing I did want to say, I want to circle back to Teresa because I forgot. Vanessa made me think about it. But when Teresa was talking about, I text him and talking about John. I text him and then I didn't get a response back for an hour. Like she literally said that an hour.
Yes.
I vocally was like an hour. Like this is the immaturity I cannot with this woman. I'm like, you are a grown woman. An hour. Hour?
Yeah, no, it's definitely giving unhinged. And it's definitely giving, I understand maybe why you have reached this age and you are unpartnered. Same thing with Vanessa, because she also had some issues with regulating herself and like kind of going off the deep end, especially when she was talking about her insecurities. And even Leah saying that they were bickering at the airport. Why are y'all always bickering and arguing and fighting and, you know what I'm saying, and nitpicking and going back and forth? Like, that's not healthy. Like, that's not a display of good love or good communication. And they see it as like, we were able to get through these hard times. And so I appreciate that. And it's like, you have this one example of him taking accountability because he apologized about the age thing being, you know, the optics of it all, right? Which we already know he's somebody who cares about optics. So it's, like we've been saying, immature, all down the board. Okay, everybody who is immature in their 20s have every right to be immature. All of these motherfuckers in their 50s, 60s, 40s, whatever.
Yeah,
but it goes to show you that age and maturity are not a correlation. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not a thing that just naturally happens. Like, if you don't put forth the effort to do certain things in your life and to work on certain things, it will never get worked on. Absolutely. Ever. The fact that this lady been engaged 4 times, I'm sorry, like, for what? 4 men have felt the need to get down on the knee for you and you ain't made it through with not one. Yeah, 5.
Yeah. So it's an interesting thing. I feel whatever. I keep my opinions.
Yeah. But alrighty, anything else on this Age of Attraction finale or reunion?
No, just that it's been renewed for season 2, and
I can't believe that shit.
Yeah.
I can't believe that shit at all. And going back to just my overall thoughts, one thing that I was thinking as I was watching the finale was like, did the producers tell everyone to say yes? Like, what's happening here? Like, what is happening here? Yeah. And we didn't even talk about Derek giving that key to Fifer.
Yeah. No, that was whack. It was. That's why I was unclear. I'm like, how do y'all want to move in? Like, this whole process isn't that long, right? How long was the process?
No, that's what I was saying. They made this seem like they were dating, like, and like it was Love Is Blind. Like, they were saying yes at the altar. I'm like, this is just, do you want to date? Like, and they're making it such a serious thing. I mean, like, and it should be. I'm not saying it shouldn't be serious, but I'm like, y'all are making like these whole life ass decisions for somebody that you've met just date like 2-3 weeks ago. Like, because it wasn't that long of a process.
Yeah, because it's like, if you're gonna get married, then like, all right, you're just really jumping in. But if you're just dating, moving just to date, and especially for some of these young women, it's just I don't like it. But anywho, that's it on Age of Attraction finale and reunion. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow whatever platform you are on, and be in the comments. Let us know your thoughts, because I was in a yeah. All right,
bye y'all.
Bye.